from high atop Las Vegas. We can see the strip down below. Obviously, this is a business trip, even though there's a lot of entertainment in the background. Here's General Manager Craig Conroy. And Craig, maybe just as you kind of landed here in Vegas and start to go through your meetings, sort of what the next 48 hours, or maybe what the previous 48 hours has looked like as you arrived to kind of get ready for this year's draft.
Yeah, we just know how important, not just this draft, really the next three drafts are going to set the franchise up. So, this is the first one where we're like, okay, because we know what we got last year. We got some good young prospects in last year's draft and what we have in the pipeline. But again, we have, 2 picks in each of the first 4 rounds and then the 6th. So, we know how important each and every pick is. I know everybody talks about the first round picks, but we really focus on every pick is important.
Well, and that's, what Todd is pointing out, obviously 9 overall, but those first 4 rounds. And, those are, and many times you can walk up there and make a selection, obviously increases your odds of finding those players that are going to make an impact on your franchise. But just how do those discussions go when you know that, you are going to make so many picks in that first 4 rounds?
Well, the one thing it does, I get lots of calls when I'm here to move, so you have opportunity. I think it's a little different than last year's draft where it felt like everybody was going to kind of make their picks, but this year it feels like when we're calling around, teams are open and move up and down, and so it'll be a fun draft. It should be, the phone will be ringing, and this is when it's real fun. That's the pressure's on, and you're making picks, and it's kind of like playing again.
Well, and when you get into that first round, obviously we're just talking again to Todd about the discrepancy and how different teams may view their rankings and how, the order could change drastically depending on how things go. But does that when some of those discussions start to heat up a little bit in terms of, seeing where guys start to slot in and where maybe you can find a player that you are high on?
Yeah, I think right after, consensus, maybe everyone knows who number 1 is.
Sure.
And then it's up to, it can be a change. I remember the last, usually in years past, you kind of knew first 8 to 10 and you almost had them in order, but this is a year that everybody's, if you want something or you have a need, it really is a draft where you can go and get that need. So not everyone's going to want the same guy, and in the past it shows, usually it's kind of in a pecking order. Not this year.
Well, and when you look at, we talk about, try to put some of that youth in there. Obviously there's some good young players. We saw a lot of them, late last year already with the big club. But just, is there a level of excitement to make sure, you get some of these kids into the system and just to see how that this can unfold and what it might look like in the future? Well,
that's the key moving forward. we talked about it last year. When I got the job, I wanted to give some young guys a chance. I think we had 8 first-time NHLers and then 11 altogether come up and guys get a playing opportunity. And really, Zari, Wolf, Coronado was up and down. That's what you're trying to do. Not everyone's going to be ready at the same pace, but you at least want to give them that opportunity, and that's what we're going to do.
And is it fair to say, when you look at the way NHL teams are being built now and successful ones, that there has to be a priority on the draft. There has to be a way of building within your system and that being kind of the core of it.
Well, with a salary cap, you have to. Because it's the only time you maybe have them for a little less money, and it doesn't take long now. It seems like after the entry level, they definitely have, contracts have grown, and guys are getting locked in 8-year deals at big money. So, you kind of have to bring in the young guys and implement them into your lineup, and then also then it allows you to get some free agents and make some moves and trades.
Well, last one for you, and that's just about the discussions inside the room. What are those like as a GM as you're sitting there? And obviously Todd's helping kind of lead the way on the amateur side, but what are those like as you kind of start to go through things and get ready?
Yeah, I think, I kind of, when we first open up, I just really express to the guys what we're looking for, what our needs are, what we want to do moving forward, and then let them get going at the list. And in all the meetings, it's usually there's a little argument back and forth. This was the first one where it was definitely much more intense, and because they know they're locking in the list. We're going to work on it for a few more days, but it's pretty close to done right now.